Hello, Allah. Very good evening. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. Okay. So I think last class we start up with VB scripting basics, right? So I mean coding we start up with. Okay. So that is nothing but like okay. So you want to launch your QTP, right? So you have to launch your QTP means how you can come up with code is like set this is the variable name, so object qtp, so quick test for qtp, the programmatic id is like quick uh, quick test dot application. So object qtp dot visible equal to true dot navigate dot launch. Okay, so launch qtp, how you can do is like this is function, so that function needs to be executed means you have to call that function. Okay, so that is how you can come up with code for launching your quick test application. So once you come up with code, you just double click on this VB script file, it will launch your qtp2. So quicktest.pro, you will be able to see under process tab, so that means like it's launching. Okay, so your qtp tool is launched, you see. So that is how you can come up with your VB script code for launching your quick test professional tool. Okay, so here the important thing you have to remember, like quick test professional true you have given, that means you are able to see your quick test application UI. Now what I do is like I will give false and I'm closing my quick test application. What I have given, I have given false. So if I go process, do you see quick test pro qt pro.exe? You are not seeing, right? So what does it mean? qtp application was not there. So now what I do is like I will just double click. Now you are seeing, right? qtpro.exe, that means qtpro is launched, but you are unable to see the user interface of your qtp. That is how it works, and that is the way, like qtp dot visible equal to true or false. Okay, so this is nothing but like launching your qtp application. So now I have to close my qtp means end process from your windows task manager. So now what I do is like I switch back to true. I'm just double click on VB script file, launched your QTP. Okay, so exactly like that, any of the programming language you go for, you will get a chance to create files and folders. That is file system object. So that is common in any of the programming language like C, C++, Java, Visual C++, VB, any of the programming language. Exactly, it will be applicable even in your VB script. Okay, so in VB script also you will come up with like a VB script like file system object. So that means like creating your text files and working with your file system object, meanwhile creating folders. That is how you will work in your VB script is like set object fso equal to create object so scripting dot file system object. This is the programmatic id for your file system object. So scripting dot file system, then object fso set create folder. uh, okay, so before going that one, what I do is like object fso dot, as soon as I give dot, it's giving so many methods as I told earlier. So this is the feature of like intelligence available in your latest versions of qtp, but older version is not available. Okay, so with the help of object fso, what are the operations you can perform in your VB script is like which are the Windows operations you do normally: creating the folder, deleting the folder, copying, moving, creating file, deleting file, modifying file. These are the basic operations you do in any of the system like Windows operating system. Exactly, with the help of object fso you will be able to perform these kind of operations. So create folder, where you have to create your folder. So you have to create folder means what you do is like you create one folder, just dummy folder. So you have to create folder means where you want to create under here. So where you want to create slash your folder name. So sample. If I execute now you are under ppt some can delete folder. Now if I execute, what will happen? It will create sample folder in can delete folder. It was created, right? That folder got created. If I execute once again, what will happen? Same folder cannot create, right? So that's why it's giving this is the issue. Okay, so why you are learning this one is like in your automation where it will be helpful. That is what you have to understand. That is important person. So normally while running your automated test scripts, you may get a chance to create folders or subfolders, right, or files even. So at that time this object fso will be pretty much helpful. So you may get a chance to create folders and subfolders or files, even subfiles. So at that time this object fso object or approach will be pretty much helpful. So now, but at that time during night execution or unattended execution you won't be available. If you get this is the kind of stuff, whenever you are re-executing you may come across these kind of issues like duplicate names or something like that. So if this is the case, so it's completely waste of stuff going for like your automation night execution or unattended execution. So how to avoid these kind of discrepancies, this kind of inconveniences? So how you can avoid is like there is a some way. So how you can avoid is like message box. Now what does it returns? Message box now if you go for, so what does it return? Another thing is like you want to run from step. You have three lines of code here, but you have to execute only six lines. So what you can do, run from right click, run from step, you go for. So now what is displaying? Means it will display date along with exact time. Does it return anytime in your lifetime? It will never return. So in your automation front or in your real time, if you get a chance to create unique files or folders, so at that time you go for, this is the kind of timestamp you will be appending to a folder or file. So but if you go for like appending file or folder, so file names doesn't allow spaces or colons slashes. So you have to avoid those like colons or slashes. So how you can avoid is like message box. So year of now, how you will concatenate two operations, two strings, and 3 4 5 6. Okay, so year, month, day, hour, minute, second. So run from step. If you give, so what is doing is like with the help of year, what I'm doing is like I am trying to truncate or ignoring slashes and colons, even spaces. So now if I append this one to your either folder or file in real time, if you get a chance to create like unique file or folder, this is the approach you will be using mostly. Remember, it's very simple, but just you should be aware of. So now how many times you execute, you don't want to worry. How many times you execute, it will never come across issue or duplicate file or something like that. See how it was created? Exactly like that. This is the approach you use in your real time scenarios. That is how you can create folder. If you want to delete folder, just dot delete. That is what you can try it out whenever you have time. Then what I do is like mm, set object file equal to create text file. Create text file. So where you want to create text file, again I'm going there only. Okay, so what I'm doing is like percent dot txt. See, once you come to class, before starting up the class, you have to take a note. Means what you have to do, you have to open that text file. Then until the class gets finished, you'll be taking a runtime notes or something like that. Once the class gets finished, what you'll do, you'll be closing the notebook. Exactly any of the programming language, that is very normal basic concept you will be following. Like you'll be you have to work with files means before that initially you have to create the text file. Once you're done with the text file, what you have to do is like, okay, finally you have to close the text file. This is very normal basic concept in any of the programming languages. Okay, so now you don't see any of the file here. If I execute, hmm, okay, it was created text file, right? So then once you create text file, what you have to do, you have to open the text file and write something into the text file. So you have to open text file means how you can go for is like set object write equal to object file dot fso dot open text file. So you have to open your text file means what you have to do is file name. What is the file name you have to open? In which mode? So one for read mode, two for write mode, and 8 for append mode. You have to read data from your text file. So you can go for like read mode, one for read, two you want to write text to something, so then you can go for like write, and you have already some text in your file, you have to append at the end of the file, so you can go for append. Okay, so these are the codes you have to remember, which mode you have to open. And another thing is like, if whatever the file name you are given, if that file already available, so what it does, it will open that file in write mode, whatever the mode you have given. In case that file not available, then what it does, it will create that file and open in write mode. So that is the purpose of like true. If you, that is optional. Okay, the third parameter is optional. So then what I do is like write something, hmm, line 1, something I'm trying to write. Okay, so this one 2 just for differentiating purpose, 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so what is the difference between right and right line? Okay, so what it does is like hmm, okay, now I am trying to execute. So what it does, it will try creating new file, open in okay. So here it's trying to create new file, and I have closed that file. Then I'm opening the same file in write mode. To means write mode. So what is the difference between write and write line? It will try to write all these lines. But what is the difference between write and write line is like write. What it does, it will write and cursor stays here itself in the same line. But in the case of write line, it will write that statement and cursor goes to next line. See, line 1, line 2, 3, line 1 it have written and cursor there itself. Then it has written 2 and line there itself 3. So there itself 4 also it has written. Then for text in line 1, line 4, what you have given? Write line. You observe here right line, so it has written the text and went to next line exactly 5 6. After that write 5 blank lines it has written and it has displayed. Okay, so this is what important like even in real time you may get a chance to go for using this kind of file system object. Really is very important in real time. You will go for creating these kind of files, but which portion, how exactly, where exactly you will use. If you remember like during data driven testing, you can read data through text files or inf files or xml files or something like that. I could have told you at that time. Let us suppose you are passing data through your text files, so you have to read data from text file. How you will read? At that time, you may get a chance to go for using scripting that file system object. And another way also, you may get a chance to go for using this file system object like I could have told a couple of times like while executing your automated framework unattendedly on night execution. So what it does is like you will be generating your own reports like summary and in detail. So this summary and in detail, how you can create in the form of like XML files or XLS files or text files or HTML files, whatever the way your design you are decided for the framework. At that time, you have to create your summary and in detail files in the form of like text files. Then you go for using this is a kind of file system object. In either of the way, it will be very important. Okay, so this is how you will get a chance to go for using your file system object. Exactly, you have created your text file. Now you have to read. So how you can read? So exactly. Okay, so what I do is like I will come up with in another way. So now I have commented. Now what I'm doing here is like dot true. Okay, this file I'm not at all creating, but I'm giving true here. That means that file is not available. So at the time what it does, it will create and open that file in. Okay, so you have to read data from your test file means one you have to give, then uh, object read dot read Okay, so first what I'm trying to do here is like I'm trying to create file. Then what I have given here, read 10. Read 10 means first 10 characters is trying to display. You see, li till li is 10 characters. If you count text 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 10 characters is displayed. Then read line, what it does, it will try to display complete line. Okay, so is it really displaying complete line? Why? By the time the cursor reached this is the point li, so then onward to end of that line is displayed. Okay, don't get confused. So exactly like that, read all, actually it should display complete this text file, but it's not really display. Why? By that time it was executed cursor here, then this to end is display. So that is the difference between like it's little bit tricky. If you execute step like single statement at a time, you will be seeing the real difference. So now only read line I'm executing. Okay, so what it does, you see, it will display complete line. Why? Initially the cursor will be pointing to first position, so it's displaying complete line. Now I'm going for like read all. Okay, so okay, complete file is displaying, right? So that is how it works. Exactly what I do is like I will go for appending. I'll go for appending. So only the thing I'm doing is like append 8 I have to give, right? So here you can give like append, but that is variable, right? So if you want to update, you can update absolutely no problem. It was created that many files. Okay, so now append, what it does, it will try appending the text at the end of the file. Now if I open latest file, hmm, just a second, 8 I have given. Okay, and deleted. Okay, it has appended, right? At the end of the file it has appended, you see. So that's how your object FSO works. Okay, any questions before moving further? This is nothing but like your object FSO. It's very simple, but only the thing is you have to aware of uh, like different ways how you can create file, how you'll create a unique file, how you delete file, how you delete folder. So, okay, so these are important things you have to remember. Any questions before moving further? Okay, another important thing you don't want to remember about this code. So whatever the material I have shared, you have all this code in that material. And another thing is like whatever you see in my syllabus, everything I have documented, but you may not see everything in my material whatever I have shared. But some topics, if you go for my blog, the link, whatever is there, you'll get everything. Okay. No, it's 1 year. Yeah, 1 year. Okay. Okay, here if you go for you'll get it everything in this link. Okay, if you search means you'll get it everything in this link. Okay, so that is another important thing you have to remember. Okay, any more questions? 2 weeks it will finish it up. It will take 2 weeks, 2 more weeks. Yeah. So QTP VB script we are in the middle. So framework it will take 1 week. So 3 or 4 more classes for finishing VB script. So then silk test load runner all those one will finish it up in 10 days of time. That means like 1 week or 10 days will take. So then you have enrolled for selenium it may take again 3 weeks. Okay, but if you are enrolled for QTP only means it will get finished within 2 weeks. No, we'll wait immediately. We'll start up immediately. So after QTP what we do is like, yeah, no problem, other students are there. Okay, yeah, other students are there. Okay, you don't want to worry. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, is it uh, that one? Mhm. Okay, we'll think about it after that. Okay, once we finish QTP we'll think about it. Okay. Yeah, if everybody okay with that means I'll be able to postpone, but otherwise I have to think about it. Okay. Hmm. Some file name you can give dot xls. So So I will explain it, just let it work. Okay. Mm, okay. So what I do is like okay, step by step I go for. First step is nothing but like you have to work with your Excel objects, means the programmatic ID for Excel is Excel dot application. Okay, Excel dot application object Excel dot visible. Why I am giving here true is like I have to show you step by step how it works, but in real time you don't want to give. Oh, step by step I have to give, I'm sorry. Okay, I will exit once again. Okay, so Excel dot application, what it does, it will try to create Excel object. So F9 I'm giving, or F10 step into step out step over. If you remember, like during debugging I could have told you. So step by step I'm executing. So how I'm executing is like F10 I'm pressing. Okay, so F10, see, as soon as I press F10, it was created Excel. Remember what this statement is doing? It's trying to create Excel object. In that Excel you have to create workbook. So this is the step it will perform. Object Excel dot workbooks dot add, means it will try adding one workbook. It was added, right? Okay, see, it was added. This is the workbook. Then object Excel cells 1 comma 1, first row, first column, is trying to add. How you represent each and every cell in your workbook? Row comma column, right? So first cell, first column, second cell, second column, second cell, third column, exactly like that. That is what here I have given. You have to write something to any of the cell. This is the command you can use. Object Excel cells row comma column dot value equal to whatever the text you want. So okay, uh, it has written, right? Okay, it has written. Then you are reading data from Excel file. How you are reading message box object Excel cells 1 comma 1. Okay, so I'm giving F10 again is displayed. Finally you have to save. Right now what is the name of that Excel file you have? Nothing, you see, just Microsoft Excel. And even if you go for here, no file. As soon as I execute this next statement, okay, so F10 again I'm giving, see, the file got created, sample.xls file. If I go for but it's not showing, it should show actually. Okay, so then active workbook.close, what it does, you see. Okay, workbook.closed, you have to quit Excel means Excel.quit. Okay, Excel also got quit. So then everything, see, normally whenever you create object, what your VB script does, internally it will allocate some memory location. So till here you are using those memory locations. Then after that you are deleting that memory location with the help of nothing. If you don't add the statement at the end of the script, it doesn't show you any error. But some point of time later in future, if you use if you point any of the variable to that memory location, it will create trouble. So that's the reason is, if you don't give, absolutely no problem, but it's always best practice you use, this is the one. Okay, even doing file system object also you are using like object fso, finally setting it as nothing. Why? That is the reason. So what it does, it will be deleting that memory location. Okay, so you have to delete means you can delete absolutely. Otherwise if you don't give, even it doesn't show you any error at this point of time, but that is not good practice. That is how you can create your Excel objects. Okay, so again why it will be helpful in your automation. As usual, as I told, during data driven testing, if you remember, how many ways of data driven testing available in your KTP? You have to say how many ways uh, data driven testing you can do in your KTP. Any inputs? Forgot? How many ways? Through data table, through environment variable, through flat files, through random number generator, and another way is like even quality center or ALM, there is you can pass it out your data, that is BPT framework. So flat files means XLS files or text files or INF files or something like that. At this perspective, if case you have to read data from XLS, so this is the object you can use for reading data from your XLS file. Okay, so and another thing is like you have to while your automation framework is executing, there are two types of reports will be generated. What are those? Summary and in detail. Those kind of summary and in detail you may create with the help of like Excel as well. So at that time again you will get a chance to use this Excel object. So real time mostly you'll be using Excel file for reading the data as well as like creating summary as well as in detail kind of reports. Okay, so this is another thing you have to remember. So then Okay, so here what it is, I'll tell you, just let it work. Okay, it's working properly. So if you remember, like in your VB script, as usual, if you take any of the programming language, you will come up with two types of variables. So what are those? uh, those are nothing but like scalar variables and array variables. What is the purpose of scalar variables? Scalar variables holds single values. Array variables holds multiple values of single data type. But arrays, if you take like C at C++, multiple values of single data type will be stored, like all integers or all reals or all strings. But is it really applicable in your what do you say, like VB script? VB script, you will come across one common data type that is nothing but like a dimension. Okay, one common data type you will come across, so that is nothing but like dimension. So normally the basic concept of array is like you will get a chance to use multiple, you can store multiple values of single data type, but it may not applicable for your BB scheme. But it's not good practice. But still, if you want to give multiple values of multiple data types, it will definitely allow in your VB scheme. But remember, it's not good practice. Remember, it's not good practice. Exactly like that. But you may get a chance, real situation, if you take like your registration. During your registration, first name, last name, middle name, these are strings. Yes is nothing but like integer. Date of birth is nothing but like date data type. Like that, you may get a chance to store multiple values of multiple data types. In real time, while implementing automation framework, you may come across this kind of situation. So how do you store at this perspective? You want to use array means you can use y means in VB script you will define any of the variable with common data type that is nothing but like dep. Okay, so that's why you can use very well, but that is not good practice. So at that time in VB script you come up with another feature that is nothing but like dictionary object. So with the help of dictionary object, what you can do is like you can store multiple values of multiple data type. So login, so login, your username, password, and what is session ID, what is user session. Normally in your windows in your web-based application, every time you work with your Gmail or any of the web-based application, backend it will create user session and it will be unique always. This is what you will get to know during your load runner, but as of now you simply ignore. But just why I come up is like here, my point is like I have to show you different data types I have to store in single variable. That is the reason I come up with. Okay, so at this point of time, in real time you may go for like dictionary object. When you go for dictionary object, if you get a chance to use store multiple values of multiple data types, at that time you can go for, this is the dictionary object. It looks like array, but what is the difference between array and dictionary object? In array, multiple values of single data type will store, but in dictionary object, multiple values of multiple data type you will store. That's only the difference between like dictionary object as well as your array. Okay, so any questions? So these are nothing but like your very basic operations you will be doing in your VB scripting. Then our next topic is like dictionary, not dictionary, I'm sorry. uh, what do you say that one, descriptive level programming. That is also another important portion. So that is again related to like your object repository. So while recording what qtp does, it will be, while recording on which are the objects you are performing, it will identify uniquely and stores into your object repository, generates that step in your qtp. While running, first it will go to qtp test scape, then it will be referring object repository for identifying that object and perform that operation in your application. That means like for recording or running or performing that operation what qtp doing using object repository. But with the help of descriptive level programming, you won't be using object repository, but how you'll be performing, or how you'll be performing your automation. That is what you have to do, means you will go for like descriptive level programming, means you don't be using object repository, but how qtp identifies the object. That is what you'll be doing in our next session. That is nothing but like descriptive level programming. Okay. So before ending up our session, anybody having any questions? No questions means thank you so much for your time. Okay, tomorrow same time we'll meet up again. Okay, okay, bye, good night.